All right, today we are diving into something really interesting. Google's brand new AI app builder, Opal. The promise here is huge. It says it can let anyone, and I really do mean anyone, build powerful AI tools with zero, and I mean zero coding. So, just to set the stage, let's start with this absolutely wild claim that's been making the rounds. A Reddit user posted, "I built 5 profitable apps in 10 minutes." I mean, come on! That is such a bold statement, but you know what? It perfectly captures the incredible hype around this tool. And this is the core sales pitch from Google. Forget being a programmer. You just talk to it. You describe what you want your app to do in plain English, like you're talking to a person, and boom, Hubble is supposed to just bring it to life instantly. Which, of course, brings us to the big question for this whole explainer. Is this really the no-code revolution we've all been waiting for? Or, is it just a little too good to be true? Let's try to separate the hype from the reality. So how in the world does this thing actually work? Well, to get to the bottom of it, we need to talk about the concept that's powering Opal. It's this new idea people are calling vibe coding. So what is vibe coding? Honestly, it's less about being super technical and more about, well, the vibe. Instead of writing these really strict, rigid lines of code where one misplaced comma can break everything, you just describe the feeling, the function, the thing you want to happen. The AI then becomes your personal translator, turning your idea into a working tool. The whole process is really just 3 simple steps. First, you just say what you want. You describe it. Second, you watch as Opal turns that into a visual map, like a flowchart. And third, you just tweak it. You can either keep talking to the AI, "Hey, change this part," or you can literally just drag and drop things on that visual map. It's all designed to feel super intuitive. And this visual editor is where all the action happens. It's all about these color-coded building blocks, or nodes. The yellowish ones, that's your input, what you or your user puts in, like text or a file. The blue nodes are the brains of the operation. That's where Google's AI models like Gemini or Imagen do all the heavy lifting. And the green nodes are your final result. But what's really cool is how flexible the inputs are. We're talking text, files, you can even use YouTube videos or your own drawings as a starting point. Okay, so now that we know how it works, let's get back to the hype. What are people actually building with this, and what kind of results are they claiming to see? Let's circle back to that Reddit user. These are the 5 apps they said they built. A blog empire builder, a lead magnet machine, a proposal powerhouse. I mean, these sound incredibly useful, right? Almost too complex for something you could supposedly build in just a few minutes. And this right here just perfectly illustrates all the excitement. That same user claimed that their blog empire builder app led to a 500% increase in their content output. 500%. For any creator or marketer out there, that's an absolutely game-changing number. But you knew there was a but coming, right? As with any amazing new tool, the reality is always a little more complicated. So now let's peel back the curtain and take a hard look at the catches. And here it is. The first little crack in that perfect facade. Over on Google's own developer forums, people started reporting things like this, hitting these invisible daily limits without any warning, just getting locked out right in the middle of working on something. It's a pretty stark reminder that, hey, this is still very much an experimental tool. But this right here is probably the biggest catch of all. And for any real developer, it's a potential deal breaker. See, they expect to get real, usable code out of a tool like this. JavaScript, Python, something they can own and host wherever they want. But what does Opal deliver? A visual diagram. The app you build is completely trapped inside Google's ecosystem. It's a classic walled garden. You can play with all the amazing tools inside, but you can't ever take your creations outside. So let's just sum up the big limitations here. This is not for building the next Uber or Airbnb. There's no way to connect to a database, it's still buggy, and most importantly, you are completely locked into Google's system. And to top it all off, right now it's only available as a public beta in the US. So to really get a handle on where Opal fits into the universe, it's super helpful to see how it stacks up against other tools you probably already know. This table really makes it crystal clear. Look, Opal is not a workflow automator like Zapier, which is all about connecting the apps you already use. And it is definitely not a coding environment like Replit, which spits out real code. Opal is for a totally different person, a creator, a marketer. And the final product isn't a full-blown application. It's a simple, shareable mini app that lives and dies on Google's platform. So, after all that, weighing the incredible hype against the pretty serious reality. What's the final verdict? Who is Google Opal actually for? Well, Opal is genuinely fantastic for a very specific group of people. Think about marketers who want to spin up a quick content generator, or entrepreneurs who want to test out a new idea without spending a single dollar. Maybe a teacher who's building a simple quiz for their class. It is an amazing tool for fast prototyping and just creating simple, personal little tools. On the flip side, it is absolutely not for developers who need to own and control their code. It's not for building big, complicated, scalable apps that need a database or their own custom backend logic. And if you need to host an app on your own website, yeah, look elsewhere. For that stuff, you still need the traditional tools. And that really leaves us with this one big final question, doesn't it? Is Google Opal the future of creation? Or is it more of a sophisticated, really powerful, but ultimately new kind of toy? It definitely points to a future where vibe coding could make creating things easier for all of us. But for now, the answer really depends on what it is you're trying to build.